My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we'll be doing a review on the NOSPILL Here we've got a box from No-Spill. Ordered this Thrifty Garage, and we'll go ahead and open it and see what's inside. That's everything. Okay, no-spill gas cans. I've been using these for a long time now. As you can see here, this one I purchased when I picked up my steel trimmer, and this one's actually not working anymore. The valve inside is leaking. I'm sure they sell a rebuild kit. I haven't even looked at it. It was just worth it for me to buy a new one. This is a new one I picked up last year. It's been working great. And the nice thing with no-spill is when you fill up the nozzle, you press the button and it'll fill up, and once it senses fuel reaches the spout, it'll actually stop flowing. As you can see here, we've got lots of dirt and grime and everything attached to it, and that's just over time. And then this piece did break, but this is probably about 8 years old. This thing, the only thing that doesn't work is just that internal components. If I were to upgrade that, I'm sure it would work great. Okay, on the far end of the bench here, we've got a no-name brand. Let's see if this even has a name on it. Just says gasoline on it. It's by TSG. So the thing I don't like about this one, and no-spill kind of has the same thing, is we've got EPA regulations. So they have to be child-proof. So they got a stupid little push button thing and the clicker. And when you click it back on, you get the clicks. And the biggest thing I don't like about this is you have to take out this funnel that's inside. So we got this funnel, and this thing has to come out. And you've got this cap, you flip it over, you put it on, and then you put it in, and you screw it back on. So this is covered in fuel. You can see how wet it is. And the way for this to work, the way for this to work is this is supposed to be pressed down, and then you press this inside in order to let the fuel in. So you see the end pops out. Problem is, this thing's broken now, and this little piece doesn't spring back anymore. So it doesn't even lock the way it's supposed to. You press down with this on the edge of your mower or whatever you're filling up, and it doesn't stop the flow. So this is supposed to spring back, and it doesn't do that anymore. So again, EPA regulations, they don't want it to vent, they don't want all these things. Because of the venting problem, you can see we're collapsed here on the side, which sometimes it collapses or balloons so bad that, you know, I can only put in 3-4 gallons in a 5-gallon container. In that regard, no-spill is going to be no different. Because they're plastic cans, they are still going to swell, they're still going to do all that. But the nice thing is the caps here. And inside here, you'll notice we've actually got this white thing, and that's not a filter or anything. That's actually intended to prevent fires from occurring. So you can see here on the back, we've got this safety warning, you know, fuel and fire never mix. And that is actually intended to prevent, if you are using this to start a fire, that the fire can't go into the container and explode. So that's a safety precaution. And this back side, this push button is actually different than these older ones. So this might be their new style. These older ones are just a small push button, and this one actually might be less prone to failure. I'm not sure. But again, you just push that button, and that allows all the fuel to go in. It's really easy to put your fingers on there and to push. So no-spill's been a great option. They've also got this little hook to help you kind of support the weight on the edge of the mower. And then they've obviously got a rubber O-ring inside here to seal against your lid. See if we can see some internal components here. Yeah, that's just your vent. So that actually allows air back into here, so it doesn't do the gurgling sound. So I ordered a 2.5 gallon container as well as a 5-gallon container. The 2.5 gallon container I'm going to be using for my mixed gas for my mowings. You know, this 1 gallon container works, but it does get small, and it does, you know, I have to fill it up frequently. And that's why this 5-gallon container is there. This is for our gas mower. We've got a push mower, Honda push mower. This goes in, but a lot of times I'll use this to top off this 1 gallon plus container for the mixed fuel. Okay, another big complaint I have with this gas can is I don't have anything to grab on here. It's really difficult. And the No Spill 5 gallons has this gallon in the back, so when you are filling, you've got this to hold and let it all the fuel out. It may sound silly, but it makes a big difference. This one kind of has a handle there. Not really. It's a slight indent on the base there. That's more just part of the molding to keep it structured and strength. So this one again has that safety thing inside. And you'll notice on a lot of online presence, there's a lot of ranting about the EPA regulations. EPA regulations have caused a lot of hardship in the fuel can industry, a lot of problems. I think that it's caused for increased prices for us consumers. And in fact, my channel has a rant video on fuel gas cans from a long time ago where they, it's just compressed so much that you can't use it anymore. It's not functional. So there is a concern with the gas cans. I have moved, my mower is diesel, so I actually have a diesel tank in the bed of my truck. I've got a separate video on the Fill-Rite fuel transfer tank pump install and all that jazz. But diesel works great for me. I use it for my heavy use stuff. I use it for my heavy equipment, mini excavators, skid steers, and also my mower. So really, I don't use a ton of gas cans. So back to the EPA. Lots of issues out there, lots of complaints. Really, what has occurred in the industry is they can't vent. So some people will add vents on the back. You're not supposed to do that. They don't want the vapors going up in the air, and they also want them childproofed. So these are childproof. Childproofing is not my favorite. These little clicker things, you have to press down on this big flap. Over time, manufacturers have made it easier. They found ways, and really there's 2 leaders in the polycan industry that I see, and No Spill is one of the big ones. And I've obviously used the products and I like them, and will do in the future, as well as I'm looking at other options as well, like I mentioned. So these style gas cans just don't work for me. I don't enjoy them, and if fuel cans weren't so bloody expensive, I would just deal with this one. But this will probably kind of go into secondary use. I'll keep fuel in it and use it occasionally, but this will go into my mainstream use. And I do plan to do actually a future video on my thoughts around fuel containers, 5 gallon jugs versus 2.5 versus 1 gallon, and even the transfer tank in the bed of my truck. So that's a future video that I've got planned, and just my experience over time, my use, and just what works best for what situations and what's most convenient, what works best for me. Obviously this is kind of what I've decided works best for me, is to upgrade to the 2.5 gallon and then have a 5 gallon reserve. And yeah, so check out that future video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one. So no spill. What else we got to talk about here?